When was the last time Oprah actually spent time hanging out with a working class person in America? She's on her Montecito estate with one of the most beautiful mansions known to man. And that is why she did not follow up with Kamala Harris in response to that stupid gun question with, well, you're on camera saying that you favor mandatory gun buybacks. So how would that work? The Oprah enthusiasm worked when it was genuine.
Shortly after the Oscars, a 3.9 magnitude earthquake rocked LA. The tremors were so powerful, Oprah's ass is still moving. Why would you laugh at that? That's fat shamers.
Oprah used to be untouchable, queen of couch tears, book clubs, and free car giveaways. But Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly just flipped that legacy on its head. Gutfeld's sarcasm cut like a knife, while Megyn's cold precision stripped Oprah's shine clean off. What they exposed. Let's just say her empire isn't as flawless as it looked.
When she first hit the scene in like the 1980s and she was fresh out of Chicago, she was in Chicago for the launch of her national talk show. She was something electric and interesting and authentic, you know? I miss fat Oprah. She was just genuine. Now this thin Ozempic Oprah has lost, along with the pounds, her heart, her sense of authenticity. And what we're getting these days is this cleansed, elite, billionaire version who wants to scrub the record of facts.
It's true, the Harris interview did feel like a very special episode of Oprah, but instead of everybody getting a new car, everybody got an aneurysm.
Oprah once told billionaires that being rich is hard, and no one laughed. That alone deserved a comedy trophy. Yet here she is again, sipping from a diamond cup and preaching humility like she's just another commoner. After years of selling golden self-help dreams, you'd think she'd vanish into her luxury lair. But nope, she's still here. And now she's managed to push both Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly into a savage takedown with sarcasm so sharp it could cut through her legacy.
We had a week of women getting up there and trying to get us to feel sorry for them. To Oprah, literally one of the richest people, forget women, one of the richest people on earth, and talk about, in part, the misogyny and racism she's faced from the country that made her a 2.6 billionaire.
When Oprah speaks, her fans act like the earth shifts. Birds cry, flowers bloom, stock markets tremble. But lately, her wisdom feels more like a skit than a sermon, pushing the American dream with $900 moisturizers and wellness programs priced like Ivy League tuition. Oprah's gone from inspirational icon to a designer-wrapped contradiction, selling self-help with a luxury tax.
5 words, Oprah's list of favorite things. So Oprah released her annual list of favorite things, and as usual, there are lots of expensive stuff. $1,000 pizza oven, $590 drip coffee maker, $80 of luxury salt. Sadly, no proposal from Stedman.
Then came Megyn Kelly with that trademark squint that says she's seen too much and suffered through every press room headache imaginable. She didn't just criticize Oprah, she dissected her with the precision of a surgeon and the sass of someone who's done playing nice. The second Megyn called out the hypocrisy, you could feel the Botox freeze across Hollywood like a glitch in the Matrix. Because let's be honest, Oprah is no longer just a media icon. She's officially entered the sacred territory of unintentional self-parody. The woman who once tossed out free cars like candy now hands out midlife crises, carefully wrapped in branding deals and sold with a humble brag. It's not inspiration anymore. It's marketing with a halo.
Kat, do you think she went over this first to make sure it wasn't too extravagant?
You're missing the best one.
What?
Okay, it is a little journal and it's called I'm Dead, Now What? Important information on my belongings, business affairs, and wishes. Hand this to someone at Christmas, I dare you.
While Megyn went in like a scalpel, Gutfeld showed up with a verbal sledgehammer. Zero chill, full destruction. He brought the subtlety of a WWE heel turn and the rage of someone who just saw Oprah selling a $400 gratitude journal like it's the holy grail of healing. The irony? This is the same woman who built an empire by turning couch crying into primetime gold. And now she's preaching to working class families, telling them to embrace their pain like it's some kind of spiritual upgrade. It's not empowerment, it's delusion dressed up in designer empathy.
But Oprah's an icon who, unlike traditional politicians, could match a wild card like Donald Trump. And if she won, she could give everyone a free car. And how different is that really from most Democrats?
It's almost funny how Oprah thinks we forgot she built her own TV church, selling salvation with a soft voice, therapists, and endless commercials. She doesn't know poverty, she collects it like art, turning others' pain into Emmy-winning shows with a side of overpriced tea. Megyn Kelly wasn't fooled. Watching Oprah act real is like a Kardashian giving farming tips. The disconnect is huge. Oprah travels with chefs, stylists, and probably an emotional support yacht, yet tells us about resilience. She told people to just be themselves, but she hasn't been herself since the 90s. Oprah's now a brand guarded by lawyers and polished by lighting crews, a multi-million-dollar fake authenticity with 5 camera angles and a fragrance line.
Her schoolgirl affectations and body movements, like, okay, ready? Here it is, like, okay. She raises herself off her chair. Like, I'm just really excited. I'm really excited about this. Okay.
You're so right.
Okay. You're like,
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something you haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your mind.
okay. Right, like that.
Right.
Gutfeld went nuclear, tearing into Oprah like she just launched kale-flavored air into the wellness world. He reminded everyone that the girl from Mississippi now commands a mansion so vast it has its own zip code, probably needing a Sherpa guide just to trek from the kitchen to the indoor spa. Preaching simplicity? Impossible when your backyard boasts a vineyard and your gardeners go by names straight out of Greek mythology. But the real bombshell? Oprah's latest humanitarian documentary, decked out with a full camera crew, makeup artists, and lighting that would shame a Marvel movie. There's something painfully tone deaf about standing in front of a homeless shelter wearing a $5,000 coat, treating the human condition like the newest fashion trend. Megyn Kelly wasn't having any of it. She tore into Oprah's emotional exploitation without missing a beat, dismantling the whole spectacle like it was a badly written script. The truth: Oprah doesn't create awareness, she manufactures sadness. She's taken grief, desperation, and suffering, layered it with dramatic scores, and sold it back as awareness, as if viewers needed reminding the world isn't fair. It wasn't awareness, it was aestheticized misery, with Oprah starring center stage.
So we have got to talk about the failure of the celebrity. Oprah Winfrey. You have no power. You do not have any control over this electorate. Neither do you, J-Lo. Let's take a look at Oprah's final closing message on the campaign trail.
We don't get to sit this one out. If we don't show up tomorrow, it is entirely possible that we will not have the opportunity to ever cast a ballot again. We are voting to save ourselves from this precipice of danger.
Oprah's charity game, more like a high-stakes business deal disguised as generosity. She claims, "I'm here to help," but every act of kindness comes wrapped in branding and profit. She doesn't donate, she capitalizes. Instead of supporting causes, she turns tragedies into headline-making PR events. It's not about solving issues, it's about creating content. Greg Gutfeld shredded this facade like a seasoned chef filleting a fish, cracking jokes about Oprah flying first class to disaster zones, only to sell inspirational audiobooks later. And honestly, he hit the nail on the head. The whole thing reeks of Hollywood showmanship. Nothing says empathy like stepping over wreckage in designer heels while your assistant touch-ups your makeup between takes. Oprah's kingdom thrives on emotions, expertly manipulated like a virtuoso at a grand piano. She's the reigning queen of televised sorrow, conducting manufactured moments with all the sincerity of a Vegas illusionist. You have to admire the hustle. It's ruthless, polished, and incredibly profitable. Empathy? No. Oprah engineered an algorithm that turns pain into profit.
Yeah.
I looked at this list, and you know what wasn't on there? Anything about Maui. Right? At one point in time, she and The Rock made that video to try to help out everybody who was hurt by the fire. And then that was just quickly discarded. She's like, okay, that didn't work. Who wants slippers? You want slippers. You get a pair of slippers. You're all getting slippers.
Do you think she much?
Megyn Kelly came back swinging, pulling out receipts like a Black Friday sale and dismantling Oprah's carefully crafted image piece by piece. She exposed the paradox of Oprah preaching balance while secretly juggling more businesses than a hedge fund manager. How does she preach self-love but push products that make you feel broken until you buy more? It's a spiritual hustle dressed in designer silk. Greg Gutfeld even joked that Oprah's book club should be called mandatory reading for future letdowns. Every book either dredges up trauma, rambles philosophically, or leaves you emotionally drained enough to need therapy. And it's all packaged as deep wisdom, like wallowing in sadness is some kind of achievement. Then there's her politics. Oprah's endorsements are like vague celebrity horoscopes, confusing, irrelevant, yet oddly intimidating. She dips her toes in political waters, just enough to make a splash, but never enough to actually get wet. She's after the glow of activism without any of the grit. One speech here, one appearance there, and suddenly she's a visionary. Meanwhile, real activists get sidelined because they don't come with a skincare line. Megyn tore through that fantasy, pointing out Oprah's activism is about as deep as a Hallmark card. Hope and change in theory, but practically just hot air. She's the queen of playing it safe, a protester who's all pearls and no bite.
I used to love Oprah, like most of us who grew up when we did. And only now did I realize I've been getting spoon-fed propaganda from this woman for years. I always took her little setup packages as gospel. You know, before I was a reporter, I never even thought to question whether Oprah might be intentionally misleading me. Then last night, the dawn came and I was like, oh my God, she is not a reporter. She's a propagandist. She's trying to shove messaging down my throat of whatever she believes, not what's real.
Oprah's obsession with reinvention is like a never-ending Netflix series. Always a reboot, always a new awakening. Every few years, she emerges claiming a fresh spiritual breakthrough, usually selling a supplement line and a multi-part documentary right alongside it. Same script every time. She finds herself somewhere between a luxury retreat in Maui and a lucrative Weight Watchers deal. Gutfeld didn't hold back, joking Oprah's career is basically a personality remix. 1 minute a weight loss warrior, the next a spiritual guru, then suddenly hosting racial healing talks with all the subtlety of a fortune cookie. She changes personas more often than most people reset their Wi-Fi passwords. Yet somehow she insists she's relatable, like the average American has time for soul-searching breaks because their private chef called in sick. It's exhausting watching her pretend she's part of the everyday grind when her roughing it probably means room service delays. Megyn Kelly cut through the fantasy like a hot knife through vegan butter, reminding us Oprah's world isn't ours. Her hardships are curated, her pain is platformed, her struggles edited for maximum primetime drama, all softened by a piano soundtrack.
Tyrus, so you got salt, you got cheese, you got pizza.
Greg, I'm gonna stop you there.
Yes.
I treat this like the list I get from my kids. They send me emails because they know when I laugh in their face, it hurts. Anyone who wants a $1,000 pizza oven, you're gonna get what Kat picked out. Like, that's the greatest gift you can give somebody because you can't return it. Because returning it, oh, you think you're immortal? You think you're better than us? Like, get your affairs in order. That's the great, you stole the show. They wanted me to talk about a dog towel. That it's towel's a towel. Great job. That's the best gift ever. And Oprah has never read this, just like I don't read the list my kids send me.
Let's be real. When Oprah talks about embracing the journey, she's describing a world most of us couldn't even dream of. Her journey is less about struggle and more about luxury entourages, therapists on speed dial, and Instagram filters so powerful they could resurrect Cleopatra herself. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just scrambling to pay rent before our next crisis hits. And guess what? There's probably a book in her club promising to fix that too, for a neat $29.99 plus shipping. That's the brilliance of this whole spectacle. Oprah effortlessly shines as a beacon of wisdom while lounging in marble tubs big enough to swim laps in. This isn't just living, it's a well choreographed performance. She doesn't stumble through hardship, she glides, trailed by camera crews and cloaked in monogrammed herbal mist. Her compassion is scheduled, her empathy perfectly lit from stage left. She could hold a summit on pain from her infinity pool and still convince millions she feels their struggles. Megyn Kelly's takedown wasn't just a critique, it was a full-blown unmasking, exposing an empire of manufactured inspiration turned shrine to image control. And Greg Gutfeld, he bulldozed through that velvet curtain with punchlines so sharp, even the lighting crew broke a sweat. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One woman selling resilience from a lavish lounge while the rest of us dodge bills, potholes, and real-life chaos. Yet somehow, we're expected to take notes. Oprah's self-help sermons echo hollow when delivered from climate-controlled wine cellars. It's not motivation, it's melodrama in Louboutins. And the kicker? Oprah still believes she's relatable, as if her closest neighbor isn't a hedge fund manager sipping champagne by the pool. Welcome to the gospel according to Wealth, where struggle is curated, empathy is scripted, and inspiration comes with a price tag. Alright, subscribe to Jacob Report for more sizzling reports.